has started and stop recording. Okay, so whoever.
So I think that was me, Sarah, so you'll have to help me.
Okay, who is me? I can't see.
Michelle.
Michelle, thank you so much.
Just tried it. It works. You tell me what to do at the end of this.
I sure will. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate your help. It takes a whole team to make these meetings happen, let me tell you what. So let me just, for the sake of the recording, I'll just go back to the original slide here. It is June 4th. Thank you for being here today with us with the Office of Special Education Services. Our agenda is fairly brief. We have announcements and reminders from Melissa. I'm sorry, I did not go back and fix the agenda. We have some from Melissa Griffin, from Skippy, and for early childhood preschool folks. We also have Sherry Evans from our office to talk about Part C to Part B transition requirements. Lisa McClimate will talk to us about some indicators, and Katie Heiss is so happy to be here to talk to you about Ed Plan SC and all the reminders.
Sarah, could you share your screen again, please?
Oh, Jenny, really? You want me to do that? I'm so sorry. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the reminder. Good grief.
Anytime.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So moving on. Sherry, are you ready?
I am ready. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, good deal.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, I just want to take a few minutes and share with you some resources that were developed by both our office as well as Part C, which resides in DHHS. Sarah is going to make these resources available to you. And once we've migrated to our new website, it will be posted there as well. We need to clean up one thing as far as accessibility, and then Sarah will share those with you. You will see 3 different attachments. One is simply a cover letter. And then the next resource is a side-by-side comparison of the Part C and Part B transition responsibilities. It shows the responsibilities for each program as outlined by federal regulations. Many of you have seen the 2023 Early Childhood Transition Questions and Answers document that was issued by the U.S. Department of Education at the end of November. And these resources incorporate that most recent guidance. And then the third attachment is the comparison in a slide format in case you would like to use it for training. But the goal of this resource is really to assist professionals both in Part C and in Part B in making that transition process as smooth, as seamless as possible. So if you have any questions after reviewing the resources, please don't hesitate to reach out. And again, Sarah will be sharing those as soon as possible. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sherry. Next, we have Lisa McClimate.
And Sandy as well. So Sandy, if you want to talk about indicator 17.
Absolutely, I will be happy to do that. So we just wanted to update everybody on indicator 17, which is our state systemic improvement plan, otherwise known as the ESSIP. I know we've already gone through the ESSIP with this group last fall, but just as a quick reminder, that the ESSIP is written around improving 3rd grade literacy for students with disabilities. And we have just started our training with our 5 pilot schools on aligning the ELA standards and the indicators to student goals. During that training, we're introducing the IAI, which is the Indicator Aligned Inventory for Word Recognition. And it's a really great diagnostic tool. If you're not familiar with it, Jenny will put that in the link in the chat for your convenience. The document does a really great job of explaining what it is and how to use it. So I'm not going to really go on and on about it because it won't be as good as what it says in the document. But in a nutshell, the IAI helps to identify specific skills in the areas of word recognition in alignment with the state ELA standards and indicators within the foundations of literacy. So it's a fabulous tool. At our training, the very first one we had, they loved it. The teachers were so excited about it. So we were very happy that they were excited because a lot of work went into that, creating that inventory. overall, our very first training went extremely well. The feedback from the teachers was super positive. They really loved the AII and IAI. And we were really lucky that that first group was so engaged. For being at the end of the year, they were very positive, very engaged. They were interacting. We learned a lot from them. We, heard a lot from them. And we were just really excited that for an end of the year kind of PD to professional development, it went so well, and they seemed to really feel like it was worth their time, which is, of course, something we always want to make sure. And then all the information they've given us and feedback is really going to help with us going forward with our future activities and trainings and things. And right now, this training that we're doing is only for our ESSEP schools, but once we do the training a few more times and tweak it kind of based on feedback, we're planning to create a virtual training for teachers so that they can access it. Or if you would like to access it and use it to facilitate professional development for your staff, you can certainly do that too. So that will be coming. That'll be a little bit few months down the road. We need to get a couple more of the trainings in, get some more feedback. And then once we feel like it's in the right place, we'll go ahead and get that training created virtually so that we can share it out to all of you and all our special ed staff in the state.
Cool. Thanks, Sandy. Indicator 4, indicator 9 and 10. You all received your data sheets through ADT from Carolyn and the data folks. So you probably already know for indicator 4 if you met the threshold, as well as 9 and 10. But we've been working with IDC, which is our IDEA data center that provides technical assistance to us as a state specific to the indicators. So a few changes with those indicators. We couldn't change indicator 4 as a yearly monitoring tool where you're doing the self-review for policies, procedures, practices, and then the self-review for files. It has to be done yearly. But we are going to change. We have made some changes thanks to feedback. We love feedback, so anytime you want to give us feedback, we really appreciate it. We got some feedback that, every year or maybe every other year, I might be a district that comes up under indicator 4 for meeting the threshold. And I just reviewed my policies and procedures and practices last year, and now I have to go through all the same questions again. So when you do it this time, it's going to ask the first question, have you reviewed your policies, procedures, and practices within the last 3 years? And if you check yes, you have, it's going to ask you one more question. Have you made any changes to those policies in the last 3 years? And if you say no, that would be the end of your review. So if you've reviewed those recently, you wouldn't be reviewing that again, and you wouldn't have all those questions. So that'll make that a little bit better, a little bit less painful. And for indicator 9 and 10, we are going to a 3-year threshold process, which means if you meet the threshold year 1, which is this year, you will get basically it's a warning letter to say you've met the threshold. Be careful. If you need any help with anything, let us know. That professional development or anything you would want, nothing that you're required to do. Year 2, you would get another letter to say you have met that 2nd year threshold. And if you would meet that threshold for year 3, then instead of you doing a self-review as a district, OSIS will be asking for your policies and procedures and asking for files to review. Then we'll review those files and get them back to you. So at least for indicator 9-10 for this year, next year, it will just be a warning letter if you've met that threshold, and that 3rd year would be a review year. So that we could change and make it a little bit easier. So hopefully that's going to be helpful. The letters are going to go out in the next 2 weeks. You should be getting those letters if you had any if you met the threshold for those indicators, that will explain the process. And just like every year, we usually have a date where, if you haven't done those indicator reviews before, we'll have a PD just to log in and virtual professional development for what we require and any questions that you guys may have regarding those indicators. And Sarah, that's it. Any questions on those indicators? Oh, and updates on the SEED virtual meeting dates. We are getting those together. I mean, Ed Plan is, we're kind of working with both kind of things. Hopefully I will have those out this week. We wanted to do something for the directors first. So I think our next meeting next week is going to be basically like looking at a side by side of the changes in the SEED, and then the professional development for anybody, all the psychs, directors, whoever wants to attend more in-depth professional development. We'll get those dates out this week.
Good. Thank you, Lisa and Sandy. I apologize I didn't put you on the agenda. Okay, Katie, I think let me get you going here. Ed Plan.
Okay, so here are our kind of important dates as we continue this launch and transition. I should say continue the transition and get ready for the launch on July 8th. So lots going on. I know that you guys are really busy right now this time of year, and I keep throwing more at you. So that second window, if you haven't submitted the second transition collection, we're encouraging that you still do. It's still open to submit. That second window, so the first time you submitted this transition information was back in April. We're asking you to submit it again, and then we're asking you to submit a third and final time in June. And the reason for that, again, is to try to catch any issues with really with the enriched side of things, with, if we have to submit tickets. So I'll share with you that the first transition collection that was done, we had one district, it took 2 weeks for the ticket to get resolved. And so we don't have 2 weeks on June 14th. We have maybe a little wiggle room of like 24 hours, if that, to get your collection through to start that dark period. So we thought that doing the second transition would help, just to ensure that you have more current data, that if there was any hiccups, we can resolve those. So just trying to be really proactive to make sure that June 14th goes off without any issues. So, other dates has pretty much stayed the same. All these dates were in the last call and the last PowerPoint. And I did send this whole list out to power users. I was asked to kind of compile all the dates from all the slides into one document. So moving on to the next one, Sarah. So again, this is the transition collection. It's the same collection that was done in April. You're just hitting it again. So if you said, oh, I didn't realize I needed to do it, I forgot, it's okay. If you can do it in the next couple of days, but then June 10th through the 14th is that third and final window. Okay. So, and there's not an issue on June 10th. If you push it and you're like, I think I'm done. And then, when you wake up June 11th and you're like, oh no, I forgot, to finalize this last IEP or something. Just go ahead and submit it again. You have till the 14th. Just kind of keep me in the loop if you're doing something like that. So I can make sure that we're pulling the correct one for you. Go ahead and go to the next slide. I put this information out on the EdPlan Power user contact list, but I also, this webinar is included in the announcements. Phil put it up as an announcement, and then we included in that webinar recording link document. So this is the registration for the student transfer process. And so I know a lot of you have lots of questions on how that's going to look and how it's going to work. And so that July 9th, and it will be recorded. Once it's recorded, you can find all the links for our recordings for EdPlan SC in the training site under the resources widget. There's a document for webinars and there's a document for the office hours. And then in the district and entity information management system, there used to be or there still is a role for enrich contacts. This is going to be for your EdPlan SC contact role. So if we need to get a hold of somebody at the district about EdPlan SC, this is where you would include their information. I do have a list already, but this is how moving forward, we'll get that in there as well. All right, next slide, Sarah. The initial user upload spreadsheet, which I think a lot of us thought this was going to be the easiest part of the process, has been a little more difficult, more challenging because the spreadsheet's locked and there's certain things you have to do. If you have questions about the spreadsheet, you can email me. The initial email went out to the special education directors that were listed in DEIM. And then what they did on the data side of SCDE is anyone that was in that report, that's who it was made accessible to in ADT. So if you're a power user, but you're not on the spreadsheet for district special education directors, you won't be able to access this. You won't be able to see it. And so it's just been easier. If you just email me, I can send it to you. I don't want you to stress over trying to find it. So if you haven't been able to find it, or you're not the person, you're filling it out, but you're not the person that received it, email me and I will get you the information. We went back and forth. I was just going to email all 80 something districts and give them their spreadsheet, and they're like, well, let's put it in ADT. It'll be easier, and they can go in there and get it. And I think I've had to email 20 districts anyways, so I don't think it was any easier. So if you need it, let me know and I will get it to you. There was a question from the last call about enrich and read only, and I did get an answer in writing for you for this, and it's that you will have access to create new users and change the user types when the system is read only. I did have another question come out of this after the meeting, and it was about the sandbox, the training site, and whether or not it would be read only, and it will also be put into a read only status. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing, sorry, I have one more really important thing. So this isn't on a slide. The system transition materials that are located in EdPlan in the widgets under their own tab were accidentally deleted by a user on Friday, late afternoon on Friday. So I am in the process of putting them up there, and then I realized I wasn't tracking which ones I had uploaded and which ones I didn't. So last night I stopped myself so I can take the list and then make sure I'm putting them in there so I don't miss one. So I am going to be working on putting all of them back in there after this call, so that they'll be there for you again. Just remember when you're when you click those buttons on the side, that the DEL is for delete. So it will delete anything. And because the majority of the people that are in there are power users have that right to delete. When you're at your own live site for your district, that won't happen. Only power users can upload and delete those things. So and they're pertinent to your site. So Dillon 4 will not be able to upload into Richland 2 like we can right now. It's just because we're all sharing that same site, and a lot of us are power users. And there's a question I see about the EdPlan training site. I'm trying to find it. No, the EdPlan SC is not, it is good to go for you for all summer, life of the contract, for enrich. So the enrich sandbox will be at read only. The question from the district was, can I go in there and create documents in the sandbox or do anything for training purposes as we transition to show the difference between doing it in here and doing it in EdPlan? And so I threw that on there, but the training site that I'm talking about is enrich. So we are good. The EdPlan training site will be there for you all summer. all throughout the contract that we have with PCG. So single sign-on, it does allow for single sign-on. It does have the SSO. We are in the works of looking into some things that we can't release yet. But there's more information to come on SSO. But they do offer it, and it is available. But there's more information to come on that. I can't, I don't have anything confirmed yet that I can share.
Yeah, it will, when it launches, it will launch as multi-factor authentication, which most software has nowadays. So it will initially be multi-factor authentication, but we're looking into trying to see if we can't work with a statewide SSO effort. So that's still in the works. Hopefully we'll have more information soon, but when it launches at the beginning in July, it will be a multi-factor authentication like most of the software you probably deal with these days.
And we're working on the next office hour to include all of the information about how do I log in? How do my users log in? So that is slated for the next office hour if we can get all of the things that we need to make sure that's ready to go. But that's what we know for right now with SSO. And then there was a question from Oconee. Will this be under the resource information? Will what be? Sorry, I don't know. The transition documents, the fillable PDFs. Yeah, they will be. That's where they were. They'll be back under there. So in the resources widget under the transition materials, system transition materials, I'll put some of them are back up. I just don't have all of them back up yet. And the post-secondary and school age IEP should be there by the end of the week. There's a lot of changes that we did to the secondary, post-secondary IEP, little things, so like information boxes based on district feedback. And so we'll be sharing that with you at the office hours, but I need to make sure that that IEP, that fillable form matches what's going to be in there. Those will be back up as soon as I can get them up after this call, those documents. Is there any other questions about EdPlan? As you have questions, just email me. I get to them as fast as I can. Sometimes I don't have the answers, especially when it's dealing with PowerSchool feeds and those like data words that, you know, but I will get the answer for you and we'll work on getting that information. Some of you with the spreadsheet, I want to go back to the spreadsheet really quick. With ADT, this is not mandatory. So if you think this is you know, too much and I'm frustrated by it and I got a lot going on, I'll just manually enter, or you're not manually entering. I'll manually change their user types later. That's fine. It's not mandatory. PCG was offering this as a one-time upload for free because typically there's a charge with it. So they're doing it for free. And what it'll do is all your users that you put into that spreadsheet, it will automatically indicate in the system what their user type is and their title if you decided to do their title. So what I've seen coming back is some districts have just put in all their special ed because they don't know who all those general ed teachers are, so they're just putting in special ed. So if you have questions and you're not sure, just email me and I can kind of talk to you about what I've seen people doing and what the importance of this spreadsheet is. And what it means if you don't do the spreadsheet or you only have to do the spreadsheet, so you only do special ed, what does it mean later? So that's a good question with adding users to the spreadsheet who are not currently listed. What we have found is if they are not currently listed, it is best for you to email me so we can have a conversation and I can work with our PowerSchool side of the house to figure out what's wrong. So because if they're not coming over, if they didn't come over on that report, that means they're not coming over from PowerSchool into the ODS into EdPlan. And if they're not doing it now, they're not going to do it July 8th. So it would be better for us to work on the back end to figure out why they're not coming over onto that list than to wait until July 8th. Yeah, so email me and let me know. I'm working with 2 districts already who had a few employees that were full-time employees that didn't pull over, and we're looking at what the issue is. If they're already gone from the district, so say you already know that they've left, you know, that their last day of work was the last day of school, just leave them at that no user access. That's fine as well. Create a notice of meeting. I'll have to look, or I don't have that memorized off the top of my head, but I will note that to go and look at the document and see. I can't remember what. I know level 3 can. I'm not sure if service providers can, like speech pathologists can, the case managers can, and then on up, but I'm not sure like a service provider. I don't know if it's that level or not. So I know it's the top 3 levels. I just don't know after that where it sits. So I will find that out for you. So for the contract providers, those will have to be manually entered if they're not coming through the import, and it wouldn't be through the spreadsheet. So I know that there's some districts have reached out that they have contract employees for, you know, school site services. You'll be manually entering those, and I've asked PCG to put together documentation on how to do that specifically. So a step-by-step, either quick reference guide, so that you can do that with ease.
Excuse me, Katie, did you see Dr. Simmons, Laura Simmons' question about creating a notice of meeting?
Yep, I answered that one.
Sorry.
I think I got a thumbs up, so I think we're good for that
yes,
one.
you did. You did. Yes.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to email me. My email's been I think I got more emails the last 2 days than I have the whole time I've been here. I know it's been a busy 2 days. But I do have answers, and I will get those answers to you if I don't know it off the top of my head, or I haven't already answered it. I will get an answer for you.
Okay.
And the questions and feedback have been great, because if you're thinking it, then somebody else is maybe thinking it, or if you see something in the system that you're like, I don't know if that's right, email me and let me know. We've looked at the IEPs a lot, but you know, there's a lot of information. So we want to make sure if you see something that isn't right, you can always let us know. And then I've been monitoring the support tickets as well through Zendesk.
Great.
And that's all I have if there's no more questions.
Okay.
At least
Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Melissa Griffin, you are next for Skippy.
Thanks, Sarah. I just wanted to remind everybody about our conference that's coming up in October 17th in Columbia. And we have extended the call for proposals. So the last day to submit a proposal would be June 14th of this year. And we've also opened our exhibitor applications. So if you would like to be an exhibitor, you can use this little QR code to get to our site and find that application there. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. Yeah. We also, I know a lot of people have already finished up the year, but a little more information never hurts. So we have our evidence-based practice in action end of the year, which went live a little while back. You can use the QR code there to register. It is an asynchronous training, and it does provide recertification credits. So if that's something that you are interested in, we'd love to have you participate in that. We are also planning to attend Summer University On July 15th through the 18th, we are going to be doing a preschool planning institute, which is a 2-day workshop, and we're super excited about how it is shaping up, and we'd love to have you join us for that. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about your summer plans. And Pyramid Pieces, I didn't update this slide apparently, but it has launched a new online training module on understanding and preventing suspension and expulsion in early childhood settings, which we have, in talking to districts, seen a lot of. So I think this would be a really resourceful opportunity. So you can visit Pyramid Pieces website to access that as well. And then, of course, our Pyramid Pieces e-modules, which are free right now to anybody in South Carolina. It gets you 18 hours of training content and 1.8 CEUs. You can see each section has its own time frame and CEU availability, and then you would get a certificate of completion. And for districts that are looking to pursue pyramid model implementation, this is the first step. So it never hurts to go ahead and get that out of the way. And I think that is all that we have for Skippy.
It is. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it.
You.
Yeah. So Peter, do you have anything that you would like to add? Because this is my last slide.
Not for the most part. I did want to point out that the IAI, and we'll make clear when we train, teachers and providers on this. It's not a tool developed as a progress monitoring tool, and that's some confusion we've seen out there. It is just a diagnostic tool. It is not an assessment, and it is not something that you could use to measure progress on an IEP goal. So it just really helped. It is a useful tool, but it's meant to be a diagnostic to identify areas of need. Once those are identified, you would have to establish a baseline with an appropriate progress monitoring tool and then proceed from there. So anyway, just a point, but we'll emphasize it throughout our training just to make sure. And with that, we appreciate your time and thank you so much for all you do for students with disabilities.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your afternoon.